Hey Terry, how you doing?
I am amazing. How about you, Erica?
You can see the tape. I still have painter's tape on the ceiling. Oh man, I guess I'm doing amazing, but I'm mellow as all get out. I'm like super
I know
mellow.
somebody who has a birthday tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, she outed me, y'all. Tell us who's out there though. Tell us who's out there. Hit us in the comments, like, share, subscribe, because I always forget to say that at the beginning, but yeah, tomorrow's my birthday. I should have had like
Yes,
a champagne
girl.
thing.
Yeah, if I was closer, I would do that for you, but it doesn't translate over the miles. Sorry.
Now I'll be forced to go get up in the middle of this and go get a glass of wine now so I can start celebrating now. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'll be 50.
Wow. You look
I
like
don't
you're
know what
30.
that means, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No, you look like you're 35.
I'll be 50. I'll be 50 in Earth years.
Ah, yes.
So
And our soul knows no age. So,
yeah, I'm already like 9 million or something like that. I could be
yeah.
about 9 million years
Yeah,
old.
so give
So
or take a couple of years doesn't make much
yeah, the
when it
time
comes
in
to
between.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think,
So
I know we talk about this on date night, but I think, age makes it when you're dating someone, a lot of times we want to stay around the same kind of age, but I've been told that the soul knows no age. So it's like, yeah, that's absolutely true. Because when we think about it as kids, and as adults, you're 50 and I'm many more years beyond that, but I still think like I did when I was 10 a lot of times. So
oh
the
my, I
that
like to
little
act like I'm 10
still there.
sometimes. I
What's
do try
that?
to act like I'm 10.
Yeah.
This
Well,
weekend
that
was
inner child is
definitely,
still there. That's nurturing that inner child, right?
yeah, I think I try to act like I'm 10 and I definitely try to tap into that inner child. I mean, I was on the beach being silly. I took zero responsibility and played and hung out and I don't know, I had fun. That's what I try to do. I just try to go out and have fun and talk to people and make jokes. I don't try to argue with people. That's so funny because this morning I was just thinking about how I am a really nice person, but I kind of like told somebody off today anyway. So I was like, I'm super, super nice,
Hmm.
but I will snap on you. Don't step on my toes when I'm 10. Because I will slap you like I'm 3. Yeah. I'd be like, ah! No, anyway, sorry. No, but I think sometimes people just always want to add their 2 cents to something and they want to be all like snappy and sarcastic. And I just don't do sarcasm. And sometimes
Okay.
I try to let stuff go, but I don't like people stepping on my toes. I'm just trying to be a nice person. So anyway, but that inner child, and I was thinking the best thing that you could have is to be your inner child, to be able to share it with a person, and like to be around people where you can all be like this together. Like this is your true self. That's so funny that you said that, Terry. Terry, why did you bring that up? That inner child thing.
I don't know. I was divinely my inner child came out and said, "Don't forget us."
Oh, that's what I was I think what I had posted about was okay, so facing yourself, facing your shadows and facing your weaknesses. Like sometimes we're putting ourselves in situations where we're not being honest about who we are.
Yeah.
Like I have to be honest about who I am. Sometimes I will be offended. Sometimes I will be my shadow will jump in and be like, you know. And so I try to put myself in situations because I had this conversation with someone. I was doing some deep, dark counseling yesterday. And I was like, be honest with who you are and stop playing games before you put yourself in a really dangerous situation. You understand? And be honest about things that bother you, especially with other people if you're going to be put in close quarters with people to let them know, like, I'm I am insecure sometimes, or I do lose my temper sometimes. Like you're here to try to be better and get better, but not to bypass, not to act as if you don't know who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah.
Like I'll just let's just use this scenario, like me and my ex, depending on which situation, like where you are with a person, can you hang out with them and their new girlfriend? Would you put yourself in that situation?
Are you asking me or are you asking the
I'm just
audience?
saying it out
Well,
loud.
okay,
Like people do stuff.
I'm going to tell you. My husband passed away 5 years ago. His ex-wife is still part of my life because we have family. I go to family gatherings with my stepson and grandchildren, and she's there. And I've had a relationship with her longer than I did with my husband. So yeah, I can deal with her.
So you,
Because
but you know it.
we're nothing alike. And I often looked at her and thought, damn, what? No wonder your marriage didn't work out because we're
Hey,
so
God,
different
he
people.
must have married her when he was 18.
Not 18, but 19 or 20. Yeah.
Oh, that was very brief.
Yeah.
50. Yes, I am 50. And it is not cracking. It's coming back. I feel like I look better than I did when I was in my 30s, honestly.
Hmm.
It's funny because you can look at older pictures of people and they'll be like, in the 80s. Wait a minute, what we were laughing about? Weren't we looking at, I think you and Magical Michelle, we were talking about the fact that Dr. Ruth just died at age 90 something. And I remember
Yeah.
when we were little, Dr. Ruth was only 50. But if you look at her now, you look at who she was then, you'd have thought she was 90 then, or at
Yeah.
least 70. But
Right.
I was like, look at her at 50, look at us at 50, look at you at 70. You still look better than she did when she was 50.
Mm.
And I don't mean better like being mean, you guys. Just she looked really old. So it's funny how now as we're getting older, we're
Well,
changing. Like
I
we're
think
looking.
it has to do really about your aura and what you carry in your field, right? And so even though you don't always express, you may not express it in words, your energetic field expresses who you are.
That's true. Andy says maybe we're taking better care of ourselves, but then I don't know. Are we outside less? We're using more moisturizer. I know what part of it is too. We're worrying less. Some of us anyway are choosing to worry less.
And I'm going to say this. I'm going to interject this because if you go for a walk through the grocery store or Walmart, some of those people who are 35 look like they're 80, right? So it I think depends on the demographic and where people are. I mean, we're in a different kind of community here. We're in a more spiritual community where we take care and we are working on ourselves and stuff. We're conscientious about what we eat and what we take in, where a lot of other people aren't. So I think it depends on the demographic and the tribe that we're with.
Yeah, I think it's to choosing life, like choosing to let things go, choosing to be
Yes.
happy, choosing to wow. I don't know. Some of us choosing not to work, not to work for others. Because I think a biggest part of when I was really looking sick was when I was working at the VA hospital and I was miserable and crying and going to therapy. And yeah, I was really overwhelmed by it. And I was barely able to function actually because I would sleep. When I would come home, I would sleep so darn hard. And I would have to use caffeine in the daytime just to stay awake at that job. And then I would just sleep a lot. So, yeah. I look, yeah, Andy for 52. I've seen you. She looks great. I graduated from high school. Yeah, if I look at some of my friends, if I went to a high school reunion, oh my God,
Mm.
yikes.
Yeah.
The cheerleaders don't look so hot. That's all I can say is I was like, wow. Wow, Misty. But too, I waited longer to have kids and all kinds of stuff like that. But anyway, the thing was like the shadow, that darker side, that part is there to protect you that comes out. But I think you just have to be honest about that, who that person is. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the fact that, like, admitting that sometimes I read things backwards. Sometimes I misinterpret things. Sometimes I forget. And if I don't write things down on my calendar, I won't do it. It's like understanding and knowing exactly who you are and being honest with it. And I believe that's part of what I was talking about. And then also embracing the inner child and trying to find some joy in that, who you are and how you operate and how you function, but finding some joy and, recognizing the parts of you that are impacted by others and how you impact others is important. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that you brought that up. I'm going to pull up those cards that you pulled because we got to get to the bottom of this, Terry. What
I know.
Terry picked 6 cards today.
Yeah, they wanted to tell a story.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me see. Let's share the screen. Wait a minute. There was something else I wanted to show you before we do that. This is
Okay.
fun. I'm going to say this. Okay. So here we are. You can see that.
Yeah.
So maybe can she handle just like stupid?
Okay. We'll start over.
God's next test for me should be, can she handle a stupid amount of money? Because I've done, heartbreak, medical trauma, being so poor I don't know if I'm going to eat. Like I've done that, survived. So maybe can she handle just like stupid amounts of money? I really think that God's next test for me should be, can she handle a stupid amount of money? Because I've done.
I saw that this morning at and I was like, you dang right she can handle it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I know I'm supposed to show you guys the card, but it was like I've handled medical trauma, I've handled it all. But boy,
Yeah.
we're at this point. I bet these cards better tell us the same thing. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But let's handle some good stuff. So, do you want me to just show the top cards first, or?
Yeah, let's do the top cards first, and we can. I'll just sort of tell you the story that came to me with this. So, so buy the book, and that's really about the first card is, we have rules, and our society has rules, and we have to have this, and we have to have that, and this has to be done this way, and this has to be done the other way. And I think that a lot of us have lived our lives according to the book, because, well, you can't wear white after Labor Day. One of the stupidest things that I it's like, what? You mean I've got to put away my white purse because it's Labor Day? But we have all these rules, and that we accept all of this stuff, and it's like, no, we don't have to live life by the book. And then what happens is when we start to realize that, like, we have our tribes, and so our tribes change as we start to work on as we start embracing the change. Like the tribe that you had when you were 18, the people that you hung around with, and the tribe that you were with when you were 25, and who you were at 35, and who you are at 50. It's changed now. You've got a different, as you change, you are also attracting people who are of the same, along the same frequency, who have the same ideas. And you don't have to be in total agreement with it, but it's about that change and how we're all looking for an evolution and who we're being. Because a lot of those people who we hung around with when we were 18, they're not on the same track that we are. Our lives have gone in different directions, and we have different um, we've changed, and we've had experiences that a lot of them haven't. And that's not putting down those people that we knew when we were 18, because they've had different experiences as well. And then what we've also learned to happen is, or learned to do, is we become more of an observer as we start to embrace the change and self-accept. We can be the observer. We can be like, like in a theater, right? You have the actors who are on the stage, you've got the stage hands, you've got the director, and then you've got the producer. Well, maybe we can start to move back and be more the producer of our lives rather than just being the actor reacting to things, right? So as we are evolving, like as we start to embrace the change and accept the changes, we can become more of the producer of our play rather than just the actor in the play. What do we want to see happen within our scope? And so, well, okay, but then the guy said, no, there's more to this. And so this is part of the next journey. And it's interesting that it was the map. So we've come to that place, but we're going to be asked for, we've done this work, we've done shadow work, we've done self-acceptance and stuff. We're now, if we're going to accept that we're going through big changes right now, whether it's astrologically, whether it's socially, whether it's politically, we're going to be asked to say, okay, you've gone through these changes, you've accepted it, you have been the observer of your life. Continue to be the observer, because now things are shifting into another gear. And that's where we come into the rescue part, is that we can't rescue everybody, but we have to realize that by us standing in our own power, in our own light, that we can rescue people because they can see us as a light. And we don't have to go out and pull them out, but as we hold our light, they'll be drawn to us, and then we can help them to move on, whatever. So we don't have to be, trying to convert everybody. They will find us, and I think that's how we can become, help people. Is they will find us, and they will see that we have done that. There's a certain light that we are emitting that they're going to be drawn to, and that's how we can assist people. So it's like that slow and steady part comes by just being ourselves and say, okay, I've done this. I can help someone. I don't have to go out and try and take a whole flock in, because what happens is when we stand in this, we can probably affect more people than somebody going out and thumping the stick and trying to do it. So if we take that slow and steady pace, you're going to make it through, just like the tortoise wins the race. You will be able to make it through whatever challenges are going to come up by just standing in your space and standing in your power and standing in, this is what I've overcome. You've overcome the illnesses, all of the challenges in your life. It's brought you to this point. And so then the last card is the ghost lands. And, we can look at it and say, oh, that's a terrible last card. But it isn't, because we don't know what is going to come. We've been told that there's changes coming. We don't know. We can't anticipate that this is going to happen or that's going to happen. So if we can't anticipate it, that's where that whole slow and steady comes from. That's from being who we have become, and all of the challenges that we have overcome to get us to this point. We don't have to project and say, oh, this is going to happen, or we're going to have this kind of society, and we're going to have flying cars and stuff. It's like, yeah, maybe we are going to have flying cars in 100 years from now or 50 years from now, but right now that's not where we have to be. We just need to hold that space for other people. We can be that bridge into that space of like, this is where we've been, where you've been when we were 18, but we've done this now, and this is where we are. And I can give you my hand, and you can walk through it as well. So that's the story I was given.
That's it's really interesting, Terry. I like it. Um Before, when I chose the topic for the discussion today, I had these notes. And then so Terry will pull the cards. She has nothing to, like, she does her thing, and then I do like this whole separate thing. And it's kind of like a test to see like how in tune we are, but then also how in tune the cards are to these thoughts that are coming through the collective. That's why it's a collective reading. And it'll be like so surprising that things resonate with random people, not even based on Libra, Virgo, whatever, but just the collective in general, having the same ideas, thoughts, experiences. And so in my notes, I wrote, be prepared. And then I wrote, be honest with yourself. I said, accept yourself for who you are and face yourself. And so that was the early part of the discussion. It had to do with, like knowing what your shadow side is, embracing your inner child. So then she brought up that inner child. And then the last thing in my note said that the best laid plans change, right? And so then I come up with, this is what we're going to talk about. And so I can see the best laid plans in going by the book. The best laid plans often have to change, much like on the weekend when they thought we're going to go to the casino, we're going to do this, and then but what it ended up happening is it didn't go by the book. It didn't go as planned. And a lot of, even us talking about, high school and our classmates and things like that, a lot of their lives didn't go as planned. A lot of what we've planned, like we're like, oh, we're going to go to high school and we're going to be the valedictorian and we're going to be the best cheerleader. We're going to be these things. And we think, we have this picture planned out of what life is going to look like. We're going to go to college. Some people were the valedictorian and never graduated from college. Some people who had sports scholarships maybe ended up having a baby and they didn't finish. And then there were people who maybe didn't have any plans at all, and they looked like they were the ones that were failing, and now they own their own business. Like, I remember a lot of the guys from my high school that we begged them, please don't drop out, because we felt like, oh no, what's life going to be like if you get a GED? And those guys, I can see most of the guys that dropped out of college or high school when we were in school, most of those guys own their own business. They did not go by the book, right? The tribe card, I'm just looking at this and it's like the little one getting love from a certain place. Right. And for us, sometimes we're seeking the approval and the love and attention from these places, but that's really where we get the most criticism. It's where we get the most bitterness, the most sarcasm. I remember during my healing journey, I figured this out with one of my sisters, older sister, because I looked up to her and I loved her so much, right? You're supposed to get love from your family. You're supposed to get it from your mom. You're supposed to get it from your sister, right? She's your big sister. And one of the things that I had confronted her during my healing process. And I told her, I said, you broke my fucking heart. You know what I mean? Because I would expect that I would get love from her. But I don't feel like that's what I received. And I know that Altucher, I can't remember his first name. He wrote this book. And one of the quotes in there says 30% of people love you, 30% hate you, and the rest don't care. Find your love from the places where you can receive it. You think you're supposed to get it from your mom and your dad and your sisters and your brothers or your best friend. And some of us, we're in situations where we're friends with people who don't necessarily give us the love that we need. Instead, they give us the most criticism, the most insecure thoughts, the most negativity. But choosing your tribe would mean this, choosing to get the nurturing from the places. And then that place, one of those places is going to be you. This could be your adult self loving your inner child, right?
Right.
Vice versa. So figure out where the love comes from for you. And now that you're no longer going by the book, you have to be the observer. And now you're going by your intuition. Because that was one of the things that I wanted to discuss was intuition.
Right.
Because this weekend, like we were going to be Big Willie, we were going to be doing big things. And I was like, you know what? Before I went on the boat, I said, let me be guided by my intuition. And let me be observant and paying attention to how my body feels, how my gut feels, what goes through my mind. To follow that, to go with the flow. For rescue, I don't really have anything for that. Except for maybe you're rescuing yourself. Maybe that, I see the lookout on the balloon. Wow. What do you think about that? Just look at that part, Terry. Like, is he coming? He's coming to.
I'm going to say this. I see the lighthouse with the light on the top, right? And he's moving towards the lighthouse, but beneath that is somebody who's caught, right? So I think that we are both the metaphor for the lighthouse and the person in the balloon. But there are people who are going to be needing rescue. And so we can be there for them.
You know what I also see though?
What's that?
Is it like he's in the balloon going towards the lighthouse? But look at this. This looks like self-sustainability too.
It could be
like he's going to a place where there's everything you need. And you got the light.
Yeah.
And it's on its own little island.
Yeah.
And so maybe the rescue is you can rescue yourself.
You can rescue yourself, absolutely.
And of course, slow and steady to me, I feel like I don't really have to explain that.
No.
Everything we do, we want things and
we want it immediate.
Move more, but we have to move more carefully. We have to be a little more stealth because sometimes we're looking at the action as just moving forward. But this is something that me and my friend were actually talking about this weekend, like being less clumsy, being less reactive, being less, breaking less glass. We're not going to be the bull in the china shop anymore. Instead, we're going to be more, graceful in the way that we move about life. But what really, really my favorite thing so far now is the ghost lands, because what that makes me think of is all the time as you begin to change, you're going to want to reach back to your old feelings, to old people and old situations. Do you have to keep reaching back? Or can you let that time passing and let those things go and let the ghosts go? Because you are changing into this new person. You're not necessarily that person anymore. Even though it'll be comfortable to go back to that place, maybe it's time to let some things go and let the ghosts move.
I'll read what it says from the book for Ghostlands, because it says, whenever you set your sights too far ahead, you run the risk of losing your footing, for rarely do the present and the future match up exactly on the enchanted map that is your life story. The future has no substance right now. It is a place that has no grounding as of yet. You can't live there, yet you can take measured steps toward a goal or dream. These steps are important now. The same goes for nostalgia. You can look into the past wistfully and remember beautiful moments or revisit lessons learned. However, you can't live there, nor can you go back and change what was. Yesterday is gone forever. Live fully in the present. The now is the most powerful place to put your attention. Its magic reaches out in every direction, farther than the heart and soul can see.
Yeah.
So,
It's gentle, like it's very gentle. Memories are very gentle because you can ruminate on them and find peace, and be nurtured by them and enjoy them. But if they're negative, you kind of got to let those go, but you still have
mhm,
to remember the lesson.
yeah, yeah. And that's just, really. So when you look at this Ghostlands, it really is, it looks kind of ominous, but it's a beautiful card because it's reminding us that the power is in the present moment. And we can look back in nostalgia. Oh, remember this and remember that. Yeah, those are memories. And my memory of what happened 20 years ago and your memory of what happened 20 years ago are not going to necessarily jive. So we have to um, think about, like where our emotions have taken us, how who we are, and projecting too much in the future, we don't know what's coming. We can only be present. So
I had to just fix something because I'm like, everybody's commenting on this one thing that I did, and I'm like, I don't know. People, they approach you as if they know exactly what you're talking about. They don't ask questions. They don't ask.
hmm, yeah.
If soil is deficient. Yeah. So yeah, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Do we need some
Oh,
Ghostbusters? Terry. We missed some stuff. So there's Terry, Andy, Jonathan. I know we got some folks out there that are watching because I can see by the numbers, but I don't know. This was just a very pleasant and warm reading. It was very enjoyable. Just a reminder
hmm,
for us to just keep moving forward.
yeah. We embrace the changes that we have gone through, all of those challenges, like the first little cartoon that you played. I'm ready
Oh
for
my
that.
God, I love that
Yeah,
cartoon.
yeah. It's great, and it's true. We've gone through a lot, so let
I
us.
guess it's like, hey, let's ask for that. What are you ready for now?
Yeah, I'm just ready for too much money that I don't know what to do.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
rolling in it, and it's just like it's too much of a challenge. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I'm ready for some different stuff too.
Yeah.
And
With
so
that,
that's so funny being ready for that new stuff so you can let go of the old stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember reading years ago. I think it was a channeling from Cryon, but what they said was, as you move forward and you have one little suitcase, what are you going to take forward into your new life, into the new energy? But you only can put it into a small suitcase. What are you taking with you? You can't take the china cabinet and the Ferrari or the beat up old Ford. Like you can't take those things. So what are you going to take forward? Or if you're stranded on a desert island, what would you take with you? Right? So all the stuff that we've accumulated is meaningless when it comes to moving into the new energy. And I think that's part of our evolution is realizing that none of those things are there's the impermanence of things, and change is always going to happen.
Absolutely. So give us a thumbs up. Let us know if you enjoyed the reading. We're going to go over to the Women of the Stars group chat to do the individual readings for our regulars. We have really good conversations in there, really good conversations, supportive discussions, and sharing ideas, and just really kind of hang out and get to know each other better in there. So, for folks that want to hang out with us and get individual readings, the screen, you can check the screen. Let me see. Is it possible to, let's see. I don't know how to. All right. Well, it's on the screen if you want to come and join us. It might even be in the notes, in the description as well. We will see you next week.
Next week. And Cosmic Mama, I hope you have the most wonderful day tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow's my birthday again.
And the next day, and just the rest of your life.
You know what? There's a bead show this weekend, so I am going to have a great time this week.
Oh, good. And speaking of that, look at the beautiful beadwork that you've been doing. They are amazing.
Yeah, these are really, I've been really having a good time with these. Like this one. I swear I love this one the best.
Yeah, that's gorgeous piece.
I love this one the best. But I am going to be posting some online. But I think my birthday must have started this month when I started making these. And I was like, I'm making these all for me. But I was like, just like testing my creativity, like changing in the style of stuff that I make. So, yeah, my birthday started. I got myself a bunch of rocks. Got myself. Don't be.
You gotta have the rocks.
So, anyway, we'll see you next week. Oh yeah, we gotta play the best outro cartoon ever.
Yeah. In the universe.
In the universe. So we're gonna get flued out. Let me see. Check us out.
Have a wonderful week.
Terry, I pushed the button super fast.
No.
Go ahead.
I said have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful week. That's all.
Let us know if there's any more birthdays in the comments this week.